Imagine a land that began with nothing more than a few ships, uncertain settlers, and a dream that felt too big to survive. No empire, no real power, no guarantee of success. Yet somehow that land would grow into one of the most influential nations in the world. This is the story of America. Not just a story of freedom, but a story of ambition, conflict, expansion, and power. It all began in the early days of European settlement. People crossed the Atlantic Ocean searching for opportunity, wealth, and a new life. To them, America was a promise, a place where they could escape old systems and build something new. But every promise has a hidden cost, and from the very beginning, the land they claimed was already home to others. That is one of the darkest parts of the story. The rise of America was never just about progress, it was also about displacement, struggle, and the quiet removal of people whose voices were ignored. History often rewards the winners with glory, while the losers become a footnote, and that pattern would repeat again and again. As the colonies grew, so did the tension. Trade expanded, towns developed, roads, farms, and ports began to connect the new world. But beneath the surface, one question kept growing stronger in people's minds. Who really had the right to control this land? That question turned into anger, and anger turned into resistance. By the time the American Revolution began, the conflict was no longer just about taxes or laws. It had become a fight for identity. People were no longer asking for comfort, they were demanding control over their own future. In 1776, the Declaration of Independence became more than a document. It became a psychological break from the old world. A statement that said, we are not just subjects anymore, we are our own nation. But freedom on paper is not always freedom in reality. After independence, America faced a new challenge: expansion. The nation pushed westward with a belief that growth was not only natural, but destined. This idea made expansion feel moral, almost holy. That is a powerful psychological trick. When people believe they are following destiny, they question their actions less. They call conquest progress. They call displacement opportunity. They call ambition destiny. And so America kept moving forward. Railroads connected distant places. Factories rose in cities. Steel, oil, and machines transformed the country into an industrial giant. Immigrants arrived in huge numbers, chasing the same dream that had once brought the first settlers. America was no longer just a colony. It was becoming a machine of growth, built on labor, speed, and relentless ambition. But power always changes the person who holds it. By the 20th century, America was no longer trying to survive. It was trying to lead. World wars, technological advances, and military strength pushed the nation onto the global stage. It became a superpower not just because of land or money, but because it understood something important. The world is shaped by stories as much as by weapons. Whoever controls the story controls the perception. That is why America's rise is so fascinating. It is not a simple success story. It is a story of light and shadow, of freedom and force, of vision and control, of a nation that was built by people who wanted more, and kept wanting more until the whole world noticed. Even today, America remains a symbol. For some, it represents opportunity. For others, it represents contradiction. But either way, one truth remains clear. Its rise was not accidental. It was shaped by ambition, by strategy, and by the human desire to dominate the future before the future dominates us. And maybe that is the real lesson. Power never begins as power. It begins as a dream. Then it becomes a system. Then it becomes history. Ending line America didn't just rise. It learned how to make the world believe in its rise.